It is May 11th. And this is a very, very powerful day because Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, is associated with Thursday. Today is the last Thursday that Jupiter will be in Aries. Next Tuesday, May 16th, Jupiter will move into Taurus. This is a major, major transit if you understand astrology, because Jupiter is the storyteller and Jupiter has a 12-year cycle. So roughly every year, Jupiter enters one sign of the zodiac. There are 12 signs in the zodiac. And so every time Jupiter enters a new sign, it is a powerful turning of the wheel. Now, this particular time is much bigger deal. Uranus is in Taurus, Pluto is in Aquarius, and the nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know how important that is. What you need to know is that all four of those are fixed signs. And so astrology is math. If you think about the mathematical wheel of the astrology chart, anytime you have anything in the fixed signs, but different fixed signs, they're either in opposition to each other or they're a 90-degree angle to one another. That means they're in square with one another. Translation is that Jupiter entering Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, Mars leaving Cancer, which is the ruling planet of both Aries and Scorpio, the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. Basically, what this means is that next week, when Jupiter enters Taurus, which is going to be Tuesday morning, and we end with a new moon in Taurus on Friday. And the one thing I want to share is that Jupiter is the storyteller. There's a great book on astrology called Visionary Astrology. It's by someone named Carolyn Casey. And she talks about the archetypes of the planets. She talks about the planets in a more theoretical point of view. And Jupiter is the story of the last 12 years of your life. Now, I have became an entrepreneur in the spring of 20 to say that I think we've come to the end of this story. I'm going to keep Cosmic Alarm Clock open because I don't know what the future holds. The story for the next 12 years is unwritten. But I do know that I started my YouTube channel, Success and Spirit, the day that Jupiter entered Aries the first time, May 11th of last year. It went back and forth, and I did a whole deep dive on this podcast as to what that meant. And next week, a lot will be taken to the next level in terms of Success and Spirit and in terms of where this brand is going. I will be starting a new podcast, and that podcast will cover personal development, and I will give a whole introduction to that, but it's geared towards business owners and entrepreneurs, and it combines astrology, human design, doing business in alignment, and personal development, as well as sound business strategy. And how that podcast wants to evolve will be seen. It's not going to be a deep dive into mundane astrology and all the big shifts that are happening. Obviously, Pluto going in and out of Aquarius, those were major shifts. Saturn going in and out of Pisces, those were major shifts. I will also put those videos on my YouTube channel, and I may do major videos like that on my YouTube channel. But from a day-to-day perspective, there's so much going on astrologically. The major, major shifts have happened. And like I said, the cosmic alarm clock, in my opinion, started in January of 2020 with the Saturn-Pluto-Jupiter conjunction. I've gone into that in total detail on this podcast, what that meant, what the implications of that were. Then we had Saturn moving into Aquarius a couple months after. We all know what happened, shutdown, global pandemic. And then we've had a series of events since then. Jupiter going in and out of Aries. We've had the node switch. We've had a ton of other stuff. And now Pluto has entered Aquarius. Now Pluto will go back out of Aquarius, back into Capricorn in June. It'll go back into Aquarius next January. It'll go back in for good next November around the US election. So we are in this push-pull in business. Business is changing in a big way on a macro level and on a micro level in the next 18 months. And with Uranus and Taurus, money is changing in a big way. This is all up. So astrology is very literal. And that is what I'm going to be talking about a little bit more in the podcast, but I will not be talking about politics. I will not be talking about mundane topics. I will be talking about stuff that is relevant to the people I'm working with who are business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, creators, anyone who resonates with my message and feels that the work that I do would apply to them and help them. And so with that, I thank you for listening, and I will keep Cosmic Alarm Clock open because I don't know what the future holds, like I said. And I don't know if I'll be able to stay away if I have something important to share. If you're listening to this now on May 11th or in the future, and you jump over to that podcast, please leave a review. It'll be up on all the major platforms. I also hope for it to be up on Amazon, as well as Spotify and Apple. and would love to get your feedback on the content. I'd love to get your input on the content. I can be found at Success and Spirit on all the socials, already on Instagram. I'm on YouTube on that as well. And if you would like a cosmic clarity session, those are linked below. That'll be in the show notes. And that is the only way to work with me one-on-one for strictly astrology. All the other work I do is human design, business marketing, plus astrology. But I love doing those cosmic clarity sessions. And I love being able to give you a quick dose of medicine of what you need to know, what's happening to you at the current time. People love them, and that's why I'm having them stick around for now. Thank you again for listening. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the next 12 years of your story.